This phone seems to be getting some attention recently despite being released more than 3 months ago. I'm not sure why, but I was surprised to see my Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G 60 days later review as the most viewed video last month. This kind of prompted me to make a revisit, and maybe even the last time we're going to review this phone before we bid goodbye to it. But let me preface this video by saying that most of my sentiments from the last review still applies to this video. So if you want to know more about my thoughts from a month ago, I highly recommend watching that video. But now, let me start first with the current standing of this phone in the market. The pricing of the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G has stayed the same even after 3 months. And judging by the phones that have been released since then, there is really no reason for Xiaomi to adjust their prices given that there's no direct competitor. In fact, the closest alternative to this phone within Xiaomi's portfolio is the Redmi Note 12 Pro 4G. You will miss out on 5G and a more powerful chip, but the rest of the internals are similar, if not identical, such as the 5000 mAh battery, 67W fast charging, 120Hz AMOLED display, and a camera capable of recording up to 4K resolution with a 108 megapixel sensor. But if you're looking outside Xiaomi, the closest competition of this phone is the OnePlus Nord CE3 Lite 5G, and that one retails only for 14,999 pesos. Although its performance is a bit worse, and there's no ultra-wide camera, you still get the same battery and charging combo, the same display size, albeit IPS LCD, and a 108 megapixel camera. Again, nothing comes close to the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G in terms of the phones recently released. That said, should you buy it now? You know that the answer is always going to be a bit more complicated than a yes or no. But if you're getting this phone for a user who's into photo and video cameras and viewing experience, this is going to suffice because this phone is targeted towards the regular consumers who watch more and take photos more on their phone. But if you're expecting the old Xiaomi where it's all about performance at the lowest price, you're just going to get disappointed. Because whether you like it or not, Xiaomi has become a huge company in the smartphone market, and it's targeting a bigger market than its fan base. This phone isn't intended for gamers. However, this is more than enough if the kinds of games you play are Mobile Legends and Call of Duty Mobile. Now, for the past month, not a lot has changed with the Redmi Note 12 Pro other than the fact that it's now running Android 13 with MIUI 14 on top. Finally. As far as my testing goes, it has not affected the performance and the battery life negatively. For the most part, the experience has stayed the same. Just a speedy and responsive software performance from MIUI. If there's one thing I noticed, it's that scrolling on Facebook and Twitter has become slightly jittery at times. Not all the time though, so take note of that. Other than that, I have no problems with MIUI on this phone. As for the cameras, this is still a solid mid-range camera phone. I would even include it in my top 5 in its price segment in terms of overall camera performance. It's a solid photo and video camera, although you do have to watch out for some inconsistent processing at times when HDR kicks in. These are still one of the best photos and videos in this segment right now. But if there's one thing I would change here, that would be Xiaomi leaning towards a cool tone in the majority of its photos. This is most noticeable when taking pictures of food when a warm white balance suits it better than cool. When it comes to battery life, this is a consistent 5 to 6 hours of screen time phone. In other words, it's capable of lasting a whole day, but you're more than likely to charge before bedtime. I know it's kinda hard to swallow the price of the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, but times have changed. The economy has changed and even Xiaomi has changed. Everything has simply become more expensive. But with the competition right now, the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G does its job well for its targeted market base, just not for your typical Xiaomi fan base. That's it for this one. Drop us a like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.